This is stacking up to be a pretty massive bill, and we're kind of just getting started when it comes to the criminal cases. Can he afford this?
Well, so this is an expensive year for sure. On his legal fees, paying his lawyers, the good news is for him is that he can pay that out of political action committee money. So it doesn't come from his personal coffers. But these judgments, those do come out of his own personal finances. He can't use donor money to pay for that. Mm-hmm. So, between the E. Jean Carroll and today's, judgment, we're looking, somewhere north of $400 million. He will appeal this ruling, but he does have to put a portion of it into escrow, basically, for safekeeping. Our Bloomberg billionaire estimates, have that he has somewhere around $600 million in cash. Mm-hmm. So, that's certainly enough to pay it, but would, certainly be a dent in his cash holdings.
It sure is for someone many consider to be a billionaire, at least as he likes to say. You were reporting this week that with his cash burn rate, he could be out of money to pay attorneys by July. When you add that, he's got, another $23 million left to spend on lawyers. Where's he going to get the money from?
So that's a real big question. He has, but he's paying about $25 million every 6 months, and that number could certainly go up this year just because of all of the trials that are ramping up, in the spring. So, sometime, potentially as early as, April or May, maybe closer to later in the summer, he's either going to have to raise more money from donors, which, that's tricky. Or he can go to the Republican National Committee and say, hey, can you pay my legal bills? They're also cash strapped. So it's going to be, if he is paying for this money out of, campaign cash writ large, that means there will be less money for Republicans running, up and down the ticket.
Well, and of course, thinking about that this is happening in the middle of his presidential campaign, there is also the question of how this all changes the minds of voters. This is a civil case we're talking about, but our own polling has shown that if he were to be convicted of a felony in a criminal case, a lot of voters in swing states would turn against him. Does developments like today help him or hurt him more politically speaking, leaving the financing alone?
It really depends. So far, he has been able to benefit from his base of voters, on these legal cases. He's already out fundraising on this decision already. So it could be a boon. But as we've seen in these swing states, getting to the fall, that a small portion, but a portion of voters sort of flip, being, I would vote for him if he were not convicted of a felony, to, I wouldn't actually vote for him. And that could be all the difference in places like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona.
Great, Laura, thank you. Laura Davison with us on Balance of Power. Elsewhere, few signs of movement for the Senate foreign aid bill for Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, even as a group of House moderates proposed yet another plan to combine Israel and Ukraine funding here with border legislation. President Biden took aim at House Republicans today in his late scheduled news conference as they leave now for a 2-week recess. Here he is.
It's about time they step up, don't you think? Instead of going on a 2-week vacation. 2 weeks, they're walking away. 2 weeks. What are they thinking? My God, this is bizarre. And it's just reinforcing all the concern and almost, I won't say panic, but real concern about the United States being a reliable ally. This is outrageous.
Let's bring in Jack Fitzpatrick from Bloomberg Government, who specializes in the budget and appropriations process. Jack, I don't know why we're yelling today, but that was the message from the White House. When they come back, lawmakers, that is, they'll have 3 legislative days to figure out a way to avoid a government shutdown. Is that just too little?
Not technically too little, because they are going to be working the phones and negotiating, and they can hold negotiations and draft bills and rely on their staff that's based in D.C. to work out some of the details. And then they've got a couple days to hold a vote in the House. Mm-hmm. It seems that that is an assumption that the Senate would vote first, because the Senate comes in a bit earlier. So I've asked the members who are negotiating this, and they say it is tricky, but technically they can negotiate a deal to fund the government by that first deadline on March 1st, hold the vote in time, and that's what they need to be here in Washington for. It's not a well-timed recess, though.
Well, and perhaps they're going to want to get all of that out of the way first before they really tackle the issue of supplemental funding and aid for allies like Ukraine. We got the Plan D overnight. That's what we're calling it. This new plan that would provide more military aid specifically to our allies, including some border security measures. Is that going to be able to get over the line? And frankly, does the death of Alexei Navalny perhaps change the calculation of some members of Congress?
It may change the calculation. I mean, you see the statements from people who are opposed or skeptical about aid for Ukraine, and even the Matt Gaetz types are criticizing Putin before turning to explaining their position in opposition to this kind of bill. Now, this bill that just came out that was led by some moderate members, led by Brian Fitzpatrick, sort of centrist Republican, is probably not the answer, but it does represent a push by centrists who are saying, we are not waiting for leadership to decide an alternate route. We want to legislate. We have to go. We're not waiting for the slowest possible version of negotiations to carry forth. So it does represent some impatience and urgency from rank and file members around the middle of the spectrum.
Hard to tell how this is going to shake out in the next 2 weeks. Do you suspect that Joe Biden will deliver a State of the Union as scheduled just a couple of days after this shutdown might begin?
It is going to be a wild early March because that's supposed to be March 7th. They've got the shutdown deadlines on March 1st and March 8th. And then he's supposed to send his next budget proposal for next year on the 11th. It's hard to keep to such a rapid schedule, but that is the plan. And it seems like there's a lot of heavy negotiating to do with all those major dates coming up.